idiots!
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Stupid Idiots Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Negative Jeff. I should probably address this first. I'm flying solo today. Calvin is really dicking me on this one, but he asked me not to say anything, but I think you guys really deserve an explanation. So, not putting out too much personal information out there, but Calvin is a married man with a baby on the way, and I don't know what their personal issues have been, but apparently there were some words exchanged, and Calvin got very upset about some stuff, and I guess he needed to kind of take some time off and leave and think about some things. Well, he ended up meeting a nice gentleman named Raul, and apparently they are now on a weekend getaway in Mexico this weekend. So hopefully he has a wonderful Thanksgiving with this weird Spanish man that I know nothing about that he apparently picked up in a bar. Don't get the HIV. And hopefully my best friend returns very soon. Shit. So, I'm going to let you guys know how big of a problem this is. It is Friday, November 25th at 11:35 a.m. I woke up maybe 20 minutes ago. I was going to do this episode on Wednesday, and then I decided not to. And then I was going to do this episode on Thursday, and also have no excuse as to why I didn't do that one. I didn't go to any Thanksgiving dinner. I played Skyrim until 5 in the morning. So, God damn it. By the way, that's all staying in. I'm not editing shit. We have to get this up as soon as possible because it's Friday. So I burned about 2.5 days not doing this thing. So we're going to fly through this. Probably going to be a fairly quick one. How was your guys' Thanksgiving? What'd you guys do? Anything fun? Let me know in the comments below. Let me get my coverage up here. We'll kick off right away because I don't have anyone here to annoy me with Britney Spears and ICP bullshit. It's all positive today, folks. Where's my raw notes? All right. Oh shit, not raw notes. God damn, I'm already fucking up. See this way. Survivor Series. Calvin, of course, wants to take the weekend off and romp around Mexico with men instead of covering one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year. So that should show you who cares and who doesn't. Hey, I was ready to do this on Wednesday to have this done early, all right? But it's still going to be up on Friday at the same time. So, did I fuck this shit up? Nope, I didn't. Okay, I just added something weird. Let's go to Survivor Series. Was that the last match? Lesnar and Goldberg? Yeah, okay. Like I said, I'm not editing any of this, you fucking idiots. You can deal with it. So, before I go into Survivor Series coverage by myself, I'm actually going to call Calvin. He said even though he's not going to be here, he still wanted to be a part of it. So let me pull his number up here. And we'll get some opinions from him, talk to him for a minute, and get a breakdown from him. So, let's, where's his? There it is.
Hey, what's up?
Hello, Calvin.
Oh, sorry, I'm in Turkey Creek again with those orphans. Hold on. Let me find a quieter room.
God damn it.
Oh, sorry. There's kids. You just won't stop singing.
So,
That's all they have to look forward into, in life. Sure, I mean, it's like a second home almost at this moment, at this point in my life. So.
Oh, trust me, I've told the listeners all about it. So, Survivor Series. I wanted to I want to know what were your thoughts on the whole thing.
Thought it was pretty good.
All right, well, thank you for that, Calvin. Enjoy your weekend with Raul. All right, Survivor Series. So, I guess there were a couple intro matches. I think there was something with Kane or something like that. I don't know. I'm not watching the pre-show. You can fuck yourself. I don't have time for that. Clearly, you can see. I have to play Skyrim till 5 in the morning, so not covering that. First match: Charlotte, Sasha, Bayley, Alicia, Nia versus Becky, Alexa, Carmella, Naomi, and Natalya. So apparently, Nikki was attacked backstage. I fucking hated the camera angle for this. So they were like. It was like super low to the ground. This isn't Evil Dead, dude. Okay, I don't know who came up with this shot, but it's like super low to the ground and like running through the backstage up to Nikki. It's fucking terrible shot. Not Evil Dead wise, but just for WWE, it's fucking horrendous. So they run up to Nikki. She's like holding her head, saying how much it hurts. Blah blah blah. I think Daniel Bryan was with her, and Natalya pops up, says she's the coach. So. I kind of suspect that it's going to be her that it's going to play out that attack Nikki so she could be in the match. So anyway, she says she's there and she's ready to go. So Brian says they have no choice to put her in. So now Natalya's in the match. And then, of course, in the match, the whole thing they've been doing the last 2 weeks is, we can't get along. I wonder how long it's going to take before this goes crazy. Sasha and Charlotte start the tagging themselves in and out, shit like that. And of course, a brawl breaks out. And then, by the way, Nia Jax, I'm sure I'm going to make DJS Fly very upset with this, but her makeup looked fucking terrible for this. Cool, I'm getting fucking pop-ups now. Skype is now available. I already have Skype. Get the fuck out of here. Fucking assholes. Dude, her makeup looks so bad. She looks fucking weird. And then red is not her color. I mean, she's a big girl, but it's like I said when I saw her. I've said it a couple times. She's not that big in person, but damn, dude, red is just not her color. Like, she looked fucking huge. So don't wear that ever again. But yeah, makeup wasn't that good. Where was I at? Yeah, so first off, Carmella gets eliminated by Alicia Fox by her little kick thing. I don't know. Alicia Fox is looking fucking good, too. It's ridiculous. And then Fox was eliminated by Bliss by her finisher, which I can't remember what that's called. It's that top rope thing. Which, I mean, all right. These finishers these days, I don't know, man. Like, I remember back in the day, your finisher was something like completely different from like a moveset, which I guess can kind of be said for Bliss's thing. But, I mean, not to bag on Eddie, but, like, he was kind of part of that, whereas his finisher was a fucking frog splash. Like, that's a move, you know what I mean? That's not a finisher. So, that was always weird to me with stuff like that. And, like, Bliss, it's just, she just jumps off the top rope and turns a little bit, like, finishers were like, like Bret Hart with the sharpshooter, or, Stone Cold with a stunner. That's, like, not something that you used in a match all the time. Like sharpshooter is kind of overplayed to shit right now, and a lot of people throw it out. I mean, it's been in like fucking 30 Cesaro matches because of Tyson Kidd, which Tyson Kidd's married to Natalya, which Natalya is kind of in the Hart family. Like, no one really gives a shit about her being attached to their legacy. But, I mean, just through relation, like, come on, get the fuck out of here. So, like I was saying, I don't know. I don't like really calling that a finisher. It's just you're jumping off the top rope. I mean, I wish guys would get back to it, and they do. But then, fucking, you'll get guys that have good ones, and you'll fucking take them away from them. Which I do have notes on that later. We'll get into that. I think that's more in like Raw coverage because I was pretty pissed off at Raw this week. Why wouldn't I be? It's fucking 4 hours. Where was I at? Oh yeah, Bliss. Where was that? Fucking god damn it. Oh yeah, Fox eliminated by Bliss, and then Naomi with her fucking giant ass. Jesus, that fucking outfit. She was eliminated by countout, and then Natalya eliminated Sasha by a roll up, which is actually kind of surprising, but at the same time, not really. You still got Charlotte in there, and Sasha's not the end-all, be-all to women's wrestling, and like a lot of people are trying to push her to be, but whatever. So anyway, Natalya gets her by a roll-up, which got a note on the roll-ups later, too. I'm fucking really tired of that shit. Charlotte then eliminates Natalya. Don't know by what. Don't have that in my notes. Then Becky and Alexa tried to... yeah, I remember this. Becky and Alexa tried to suplex Nia. Nia reversed it. And then the crowd started chanting, holy shit, which... Why? Like, if it was like a double suplex, like through a table, or maybe like onto the apron outside, I mean, they were legit. It was the same crowd, well, I don't know what word I'm looking for, but like the same crowd, like them freaking out, the same as like if someone jumped out of the fucking rafters at an ECW event and everyone's screaming, holy shit. It was a double suplex by a girl that looks like she weighs 300 pounds and two girls that are maybe, I don't know, 220 pounds, 230 pounds put together. So why are you screaming? Fucking god damn it. It's not worth freaking out about. So then Becky gets Nia in the disarmer and taps her, which is interesting because I don't think anyone's finished Nia, have they? I know DJ S-Fly wants to try to finish Nia. I don't know what I'm talking about. Where are we at? And then Charlotte, Charlotte gets Bliss with the big boot, which is awesome. Gets her eliminated, and then Bayley eliminates Becky, which ends up being the last one, so Team Raw wins the first one, which I think I was saying this in the last episode. I think Raw is going to get a lot of the victories so that they can still look good, I guess, in terms, because, the men's SmackDown, I think I said, was the one that really needed to get the win. And so I think Raw was going to win almost all of them, except for that one. And there were a couple that were in play that maybe could go either way. So Raw gets that. But then as soon as Bayley gets the win, Charlotte attacks her. And I guess they're finally going to start building that up. God damn it. Like I said, I just woke up. It's 11:44. I just woke up. Oh, yeah. This is funny now looking back on these notes. They had a 2K17 commercial, and it was like Brock Lesnar and a Goldberg preview, and they're going ape shit in the commercial. They're fucking slamming each other through tables. They're going through barricades. It's like fucking high moves, and just, it's like action packed as fuck. And my first thought was, I was like, you probably shouldn't play something like that advertises this match in any way as being like remotely huge or fucking crazy, because neither of these dudes are high flyers. I know Lesnar is still pretty quick and can move around super fast. At this point, I didn't know like what kind of shape Goldberg was in, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's really getting people amped up for something that I feel is probably not going to happen, and then we'll talk about that here in a minute. And then there was a backstage segment with Ellsworth and Foley, and they were just kind of there's really no notes here, but I thought it was hilarious that and Calvin, I'm sure, would love this if he was here and not drinking margaritas on a beach somewhere. Foley was talking about how he's a fan of Ellsworth and how he really likes what's going on and all this, and he's like, I'd really like to bring you over to Raw. And just in the back, because you can hear the crowd in the backstage, you just hear the crowd boo so fucking hard. Like, I just thought that was pretty funny. Fucking no one really likes that dude, especially Calvin. Calvin really hates that guy. Let's see. Oh, I mean, yeah, I think there should have been an Intercontinental match in here, but I didn't see one, so that's weird. I would assume if there was one that it would have remained on SmackDown, but I didn't see any of that, and I'm not going to be mentioning anything about a certain wrestler. But yeah, that's weird. No IC title coverage. Where are we at? Okay, so tag team elimination. So it's Oh, well, before that, actually, there was a really good Ambrose backstage. Styles and Ambrose were getting into it backstage. Ambrose was saying what Styles wants to do to him is like how he has a different fantasy. He's like, yeah, you may be dreaming that, but here's what I'm going to do, and starts like naming off all this shit. And then Shane comes in and tells them both to knock it off and to get on the ball. And Ambrose is like, did you hear all the cool stuff I said? I am on the ball. What are you talking about? He's just great on the mic. I just wish it would translate to in-ring performance, because the dude, I mean, we've said it 1,000 times. If you're a regular listener, you know how much we fucking hate Dean. He's just so good on the mic, though. So now it's a tag team elimination. So there's Enzo and Cass, the Shining Stars, Gallows and Anderson, Sheamus, Cesaro, and the New Day, Jesus, versus Slater and Rhino, Breezango, the Usos, the Hype Bros, and American Alpha. When Enzo and Cass came out, they were cutting their promo, and Enzo just kept making Drake references, which I thought was weird because, I understand that Drake is from Canada, but he's not like a national treasure. It's not like everyone in Canada is like, holy fuck, like we have Drake. He's super, I know he's popular, but he's not that fucking popular. I know he's bigger in the United States than he is in Canada. So, I mean, what's the fucking point? Either way. And then he had like a button down thing that he pulled down, and it said, if you're reading this, it's too late, which, again, more Drake shit. I guarantee most of the people there didn't pick up on it. Like, when it was supposed to be like some big applause moment, it seemed like, and the crowd was just like, okay. God damn it. This computer keeps fucking freezing. It's pissing me off. It's a brand new computer. It's acting like a piece of shit. So, anyway, Fandango starts off by throwing tickets at everybody, freezing. It's every time it gets to the end, because it's an audio thing. It kind of just rolls through, and then there's like, you only have so much room on the screen, so then when it hits the end, it like rolls over and kind of starts fresh or whatever. Every time it hits the end of the screen, it fucking freezes. And like, I know I'm recording, but like, it lags like fucking 4 seconds. It's driving me fucking nuts. It's a brand new computer. Cost me like $900 because I bought it for editing shit. And so I'm not using it for the internet. I'm not using it for anything. I'm just recording photos, video, all that stuff. It's fucking driving me nuts. Anyway, Fandango comes out. He starts throwing these fashion violations at everyone, and he even hits his own team too, which is great. And then of course, why would you use him? Breezango immediately eliminated, and then the Usos eliminate the New Day, then Gallows eliminate the Hype Bros, and then American Alpha eliminate the Shining Stars. They did the electric chair move that they had, but they almost botched the cover, which was kind of weird, because I think like the wrong guy was in the ring, and he went to cover, but then he realized he wasn't, so the other guy jumped. It was fucking stupid. Fairly quick match, which wasn't bad. There were 800 suicide dives, believe it or not. 800 suicide dives in this fucking match. Then Gallows eliminates American Alpha. Rhino eliminates Gallows and Anderson. And then Enzo eliminates Slater and Rhino. And then the Usos eliminate Enzo and Cass. And then Cesaro eliminates the Usos. Which, again, another win for Raw. Didn't think this one was going to go over for SmackDown at all. If anything, I know they would have had the Usos go over, which is fucking... You guys got to quit with the Usos. They're shit. All right, knock it off. So then, like, I'm just smashing through these because, like I said, I'm flying solo, and I miss my best friend, guys. Brian Kendrick versus Kalisto, however you want to say it. I'm sure Calvin knows he's in the country of origin right now. So, the Kendrick promo at the beginning was really fucking good, actually. One thing that was funny in this match was, I think it was Kendrick that was kind of going nuts and kind of on a roll or building up steam, whatever you want to say, which steam kind of ties into this one. Morrow's like, he's full head of steam in this one, when he should have said full steam ahead. Fucking idiot. And then Baron Corbin comes in, and he DQs Kalisto. Like, fucking goddamn it. So I had to pause because someone is being very rude and loud and obnoxious, the noise is never going to fucking end unless I buy a fucking cabin in the mountains, and that cabin has a bunker of some sort, be it bomb or tornado or whatever. I mean, there's no tornadoes on the mountain, but still, you get my point. There's never going to be not interruptions to upset Calvin with grammar on that one and speech etiquette, whatever you want to call it. So fucking annoying. Anyway, Baron Corbin came in and he attacked someone. He got Kalisto DQ'd, which, why is he out there fucking with anybody? Like, he's so not relevant in the picture. I mean, he was kind of okay in NXT. He was a bigger name. But, I mean, like most people that get called up, they, except for the women, really, they drop the ball on him. And he doesn't really do anything. His matches are fucking shit. I mean, he's terrible on the mic. Like, I don't know. Maybe send him back? Because, I mean, he was bigger there. I don't know. So, next is the 5-on-5 men's. So, it's Owens, Jericho. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, never mind. I already talked about that. There was a DQ. I was like, oh, shit, I didn't say one. But, yeah, it was a DQ. So, Owens, Jericho, Rollins, Reigns, and Braun versus Styles, Ambrose, Orton, Wyatt, and Shane. And the first one out is James Ellsworth. And, which is, I guess he's the mascot, so that makes sense. But, I mean, if they're going to do that, like, you have the mascot come out first, then you have the other people come out. Shouldn't the champion be the guy that comes out last? Isn't that usually the case with, like, fights, UFC, boxing, whatever? So, I mean, all these guys come out, and then AJ comes out, and then after AJ, Ambrose comes out. It's fucking... I don't understand that. Like, that's disrespectful to your champion. Like, I understand that it's just wrestling, but to me, that's kind of bullshit. So, Dean, of course, delivers on the lunatic lariat and a suicide dive through the second rope. Like, look... If you're not a strong wrestler, I get that. I mean, at least be a guy that can just, like, bump and feed. But, I mean, stop having the same match. His shit, dude. And he's not... He's starting to telegraph stuff, so he's like, he goes super slow when he does it. When he does the dive, a lot of people that do a suicide dive, they kind of like... At least, like I was saying back in the day, it was one of those things where it was like a last-ditch effort to, fuck someone up. And it was just like, fuck it, and it came out of nowhere. Whereas now, Dean just like, he'll throw the guy out of the ring or get the guy out of the ring some way. And then you can see that he's like, okay, he's there. All right, I'm going to walk towards this route, bounce off a little bit. I'm going to get kind of a little jog going. And okay, I guess I'll go through this. It's fucking, come on, man. Like, put some excitement into, I don't know. It's so annoying. The match eventually just dissolves into AJ and Ambrose beating the shit out of each other while Shane tries to separate them. Braun ends up eliminating Ambrose after Styles beat the shit out of him, which is good. I'm glad Ambrose is out of here. But he's going to come back and fuck shit up. So, because that's what he does. That's his character. That goes back to the moves thing. He'll do the lariat shit off the rope at least once a match. I guarantee any match you will see him do this. It doesn't matter if it's quick little squat. He'll fucking find a way to make it the worst shit ever. But, if he gets eliminated early or if he, whatever, he will always come back and fuck with something. So, Jesus fucking Christ with the noise. And, of course, I just had to pause again because of the noise. I think I sat here for like 10 minutes. I'm so fucking tired of it, dude. It's so stupid. Braun eliminates Ambrose. And then, Braun, I forgot how he got put on the table, but Braun got put on the table outside. And Shane hit him with a gnarly elbow from the top rope. Man, that's the thing about Shane is like, I don't know where it comes from. Like, he was just a dude that just always loved to just do super high spots and really get in the mix. I think he was just a young kid around it, and he just wanted to do it. And then he eventually just, like, said, fuck it, I'll go for something big, which, fine, but goddamn, dude, I mean, you're a fucking multimillionaire. He made a ton of money in Japan, something to do with pay-per-view. And, I mean, you don't have to take them, You don't have to do those. But, I mean, it's awesome. I'm glad he's doing it. Yeah, great elbow. It looked like he may have hit something. There was a really bad one with Randy Orton at WrestleMania 30 where I don't think Shane hit anything, but Orton at 30, he when he did an RKO on the table, his lower back landed directly on a monitor. Like, you can watch it in slow-mo 1,000 times. And he even mentioned that it was just one of the most gnarly things ever. But yeah, Shane's really good at selling that stuff. It looked like he had hit something to mess his back up, but I don't think he did because there were, replays from different angles, and I didn't see anything under there. Either way, really good selling. Braun was eliminated by countout after that, I believe. Or no, actually, no, he was eliminated by countout because he was trying to get back in the ring, and it panned down, and Ellsworth was grabbing his legs. Like, no one saw him since, like, the beginning of the match for the most part, and then somehow, I guess he weaseled his way under the ring, and he was holding Braun down, which is funny. So Braun ended up chasing him down all the way up to the top of the ramp and grabbed him and just threw him off the stage through a table. And the great thing about this is Braun is a gigantic dude. He's like 7 foot something, easily over 300 pounds. And Ellsworth is like maybe 5'10", maybe 150 pounds. And the way Braun throws him, like, you can tell Ellsworth had like already gone for the jump to get ready, and Braun had him just in full swing, still in his power, just carries him and just launches him just all the way over the ramp into this table. It was just, you got to watch it to know what I'm talking about. Just the way he carried him after the jump and just let him go. It was hilarious. The dude looked like he was flying. It was great. And then the match ended up turning into everyone beat the shit out of Shane. After that, Styles hits Owen off the apron. Owens comes back with, oh yeah, that's right. So this one was pretty funny. Styles hit Owens off the apron, and then Owens came back with the list of Jericho and hit AJ with it and got eliminated. And when he hit AJ with that list, it blew up and papers went everywhere. And the look on Jericho's face looked like someone had taken a newborn baby and shot it in the face right in front of him. It was the most horrified look I had ever seen. Yeah, he's so good. After that, Jericho is on his knees in the ring, freaking out, trying to get all of his paper. It looked like someone just dumped a shredder out. Like, there's just pieces of paper everywhere. He's on his knees, freaking out, trying to get it. And then as soon as he gets up, Orton hits the RKO and eliminates Jericho, which is unfortunate. And then Orton hit a power slam. I don't remember who he hit the power slam on, but I just want to say Orton's power slam is beautiful. If you don't know what that is, it's where like a guy, like Jesus. Let me try to explain this. So, like, if a guy's running at you, it's like kind of like a scoop slam. You know what a scoop slam is? It's like where you get your arm between their legs and your other arm up by their shoulders, and you like kind of twist and bring them over. That's kind of what a power slam is, except the guy's running at you, and you just scoop him real quick and slam him over. And it's beautiful. His is perfect. He is a really good technical worker. I don't think Orton gets enough praise for that, but that dude, he's almost flawless in every match that he does. Let's see. There's the power slam. Oh, and then Shane, winding down to the match here, it's like Shane and Reigns in there. Shane goes to do a coast to coast on Roman, which, that fucking asshole, shut up! God damn it. Anyway, so Shane goes for the coast to coast, which, jumping from one rope to the other, and he gets speared really hard. It looked like Roman even hit his head a little bit, but I know Shane got fucked up. I don't think he got a concussion or anything like that. It didn't look like he hit his head. I think, if anything, he got the wind knocked out of him and maybe bruised some ribs. It wasn't that bad, but you could tell. So they started counting, and Shane had his shoulder up, and you can see this too. There are some fan videos. There's one that's really popular that ended up online where it's from the backside of it, to where you can see that Shane rolls and puts his shoulder up, and the ref still counts the 3, which, fucking Jesus Christ. fucking noise. I'm sure you guys can't hear what I'm hearing right now. I'm in a different place from where we usually record, but it's never ending. It's so fucking stupid. It's disrespectful. I fucking hate it. Anyway, yeah, it was weird because he rolled his shoulder, and it's clearly up, and so he still counted the 3. And the other reason I didn't think it was serious is they're like, the announcer team, they're trying to like push it as being super serious, but they didn't throw up the X. When the referee throws up the X, then there's a problem. But they didn't do that for him. I think the ref just counted to get him out of there. I'm sure maybe Vince made the call. I don't know. Something happened, but he's game for anything. And if he still put his shoulder up, I assume that they still had plans for him in that match, and he was still trying to get the job done, because that's just how Shane is. So it's very interesting to see that they still went through with the count, because you can, even from the official video, like from the front or whatever, you can still see that he put his shoulder up, but from the back, it's undeniable. So let's see. So Shane gets eliminated by that, and then Rollins and Reigns start clearing the tables outside, and then Ambrose, told you, he's going to come back, and they start attacking Styles, which is funny because, Ambrose and Styles are on the same team, essentially. And so it's a mini Shield reunion, which they've already teased before, which I don't know why they keep doing it, because I don't remember the last time, but they did like the powerbomb thing before, and Rollins had like put in his fist, he's like, right boys, or something like that. And then the other, like Ambrose, and I think this is when Ambrose and Reigns were kind of teaming together a little bit, like right after the Shield split, and they were still like buddy, and then they both started beating up on Rollins. So they kind of tease it a little too much, like just leave it alone, like at least for like another year, at least, But anyway, they all come back, they all start beating up on Styles, and then they do that Shield powerbomb thing, and they put Styles, I believe they put Styles through the table. So Reigns and Rollins ended up saving Ambrose from security, and so he's going to help. And then, they did the old Shield powerbomb, put him through the tables, and then AJ gets eliminated. Then Luke Harper came out for some reason. Don't know what that, I guess just a distraction, I don't know. So Rollins goes up top to do something to Bray, but then Orton hit the RKO on him, which again was a really beautiful RKO. You could kind of see him setting it up. You could see him waiting, but it was still really good. Rollins gets eliminated, and now it was hilarious because I love mentioning this every time. The second Rollins got eliminated, everyone started booing because Roman was the last guy left. And just it instantly went from like, okay, cool, like I can get behind this because Rollins there, they're teaming up, they're doing a good job together. Oh, Rollins is gone? Fuck Reigns. Dude, so funny. So it's just Reigns. So then the whole crowd also, after the booing, just started chanting "Let's go SmackDown." Like it just shifted just so hard in one direction immediately. Like they've got to know, like they have to know that Reigns is just not selling. He's not good. He's not, I don't know. You got to do something else with him. You got to put him back on the mid card. Him being in these main events just isn't the right place for him. Or, bigger matches, whatever you want to call it. Technically, the main event hasn't happened. So, Reigns goes for the Superman punch and then the spear. But when he does that, Orton pushes Wyatt out of the way and takes the spear, and then Wyatt hits his sister Abigail and fucking drives Reigns' head right into the mat, which was kind of brutal looking. But then he wins and gets it for Team SmackDown, which is very interesting because I don't think a lot of people saw this match ending up being Roman Reigns versus Bray and Orton. I think a lot of people really were like me and wanted it to be like, ended up just being like AJ and Rollins, because goddamn, those two would make a fucking, especially now in their careers. I know they've kind of gone at it before. If you could give them like a single main event now, like even at Royal Rumble or something, or WrestleMania, whatever, those two would light up the show. And I know that, and I don't know why they're not doing that. I don't know if they're eventually going to do something with them, but considering they're both on different shows, I don't know. But either way, they need to do something with those two. They really need to start using their talent better, because they're fucking shit up lately. And then finally, the big main event. Oh, shit. Okay, so Brock Lesnar comes out. Oh, let me fix this a little bit here. It's probably some noise for you. My filter's coming off. Lesnar comes out. It doesn't take too long. And then Goldberg does his fucking long-ass walk, which I thought was cool, especially when he was doing it back in WCW. No one had really done anything like that before, and it was like an old, like, locker room call, like, hey, champ, it's time to go, sort of a thing. And it was pretty cool. So he did this long walk out there. I've always liked his intro, or, you know, entrance, whatever you want to call it. So they go out there, and man, Goldberg looks great. Like that's the first thing I'll say is Goldberg. He looks fantastic for his age. Like the dude's, I mean, I think the only real noticeable difference was his traps. Like the dude used to have like a massive neck and massive traps, and those aren't as big anymore. But other than that, he's still pretty fucking big. And when he's like 47 or something, like goddamn. So it starts off, and Lesnar like instantly grabs Goldberg and slams him back into the corner. I think he did it twice. And then on the second, if it wasn't, whatever, fuck you. On the second one, I'm going to say it was two. On the second one, Goldberg just throws Lesnar off of him. And Lesnar's on the ground, like, looking like, what the fuck? Just like, what? What just happened? And Goldberg kind of does like his scream thing. And then he spears Lesnar. Like, I'm getting fucking tired of the noise. Seriously, it's fucking... So anyway, Goldberg spears him once, and Brock is just in, like, complete awe, really, for the most part, and gets up. It looks like he really fucked up his ribs. That's how you're supposed to do a spear. You're supposed to do it to where, like, okay, you broke ribs, you could have punctured a lung. You know, what is going on with this fucking computer? What is going on? It just, like, shut down. Oh, my fuck. It's a brand new computer. Now it's frozen. There we go. Yep. And, oh, my God. So fucking dumb, dude. Like, your Windows needs to fuck off. Here's what I don't understand. This is so just intertwined with bullshit. I hate HP computers. Any desktop I've ever had that's been HP has been fine. Any HP laptop I've ever had has just been dog shit. And I've had 2 HP laptops in the last, like, I don't know, 3 years, just because I couldn't afford anything more at the time. They're always, like, really, you get them at Walmart for like $300, and I think they go up in price too, but for the most part, they're like a $400 or $500 computer. But yeah, I got the money together, and I bought this nice, like, brand new Dell. Like, this thing is fucking, you know, balls to the wall, highest everything ever, but I don't know what's going on. Like, the thing is fucking, it lags, it fucking doesn't load shit up right. It takes forever. Like, dude, I still have this shitty HP hooked up. I have kind of like an edit bay set up where I'm at, so I can edit photos and videos and stuff. And I couldn't even tell you where I was because fucking rude ass people happened again. I think I have maybe like 30 minutes of, you know, whatever now, audio, you know, of a show. And I've been doing this for over an hour, and I continuously have to keep stopping because it turns into a lot of stomping and people dropping shit, and I'm about to throw this computer and the microphone into the wall. So anyway, let's just get to it. This coverage, just to let you know, of this match has far exceeded the actual length of the match. So I'm just going to say it again. Are you fucking kidding me? Of course, when they leave, they slam the fucking door. Oh, my God. Anyway, so let's try Lesnar versus Goldberg for like the 9th time. Goldberg spears Lesnar twice. Lesnar doing a great job selling it. It's like, you know, super unexpected. He's like, holy shit, what the fuck is going on? And then Goldberg picks him up, jackhammers him. 1, 2, 3. Goldberg wins. Complete squash match. I think the match took 1 minute and 26 seconds, I believe is what people were saying. Which, that's hilarious. Goddamn, dude. I know some people were pissed, but most people I saw are pretty happy because a lot of people I think are over the Lesnar suplexing everyone. But, you know, we've had people on here before, and I've said it before, like, that's kind of his gimmick, you know, so you can't really be too mad at it. So that's how that went, and so let's go right into Raw coverage. So Raw started off with Goldberg. Goldberg came out because everyone thought that this was like his last appearance. I mean, I think he's going to come out on Raw, be like, all right, well, thanks guys. So and he kind of does that. So he comes out and okay, I'm sorry, I'm reading my notes here. Raw kicks off with Goldberg. He comes out. I think it's funny that the crowd, they start saying like, you still got it, but it's in like 4 different things. So it's like, you got it. It's like, all right, like how you can hear each other, like, but no one refuses to stop because they want everyone to like join what they're saying. Like, cause it'll eventually sync up, or at least try to, but it seems like once you have like 4 or 5 of them going, like no one wants to back off. And they want everyone else to sync up to theirs instead of just being shitheads. They're like, stop and pick up with the louder one. Just go with the louder one. That's all you have to do. So he goes off. He says, I came out here to say goodbye, but then I ran into Stephanie in the back, and she's like, look like you did have one more ass kicking in you, but do you have another title run in you? And everyone went nuts for that. And Goldberg says he is officially in the Royal Rumble. And that I guess he's going for a title run, which, I mean, that's cool, but I mean, what does that do to the title picture now? Because you've got, I mean, it's not really going anywhere. Owens has held on to it forever. It's been kind of him and Rollins beefing over it for the most part. But if that ends up winding up happening at WrestleMania, let's say Goldberg wins. Okay, let's say Goldberg wins at the Royal Rumble, and so he gets his shot at WrestleMania. So who's the champion then? Like in that short amount, because it's actually not that far away. It's only a couple of months. How are they going to keep the Jericho Owens thing going on as they're still best friends? Like when are they going to start teasing that's gonna break up and happen? Because that's what everyone wants. Everyone wants to see the Owens and Jericho split, and they want to see Jericho and Owens beef, and most likely ending with Jericho winning the title, because that's what everyone wants. Like everyone wants Jericho to get this last title run. I mean, I think he could go for a while. He's still in great shape, and he just put out an interview saying that this is his best run. I think we talked about this last time, or he said it's second to his run in 2008 with Shawn Michaels. But I mean, what happens there? Like in the span of but this is probably what WWE would do. They'd fucking, let's split them right now, have him beef for 2 months, which isn't remotely close enough to a payoff. We'll give Jericho the title. We'll have him lose it immediately at Royal Rumble to, I don't know, Rollins or Owens or whoever, or Lesnar. Something happens. And then we'll just have Goldberg versus Lesnar 2, essentially, for the belt. Which, you're going to burn your biggest, like Jericho is absolutely your biggest star on Raw. I mean, I don't see how that's also in just my opinion. I believe he's the biggest star on Raw. His mic skills are amazing. His in-ring work is perfect right now. You know what I mean? Like he has not been, he's not slacked in any way, in my opinion. So I hope they don't fuck it up. So I guess anyway, Goldberg is going to be in the Royal Rumble. And then one thing that I thought was, and he's like, well, everyone's next, I guess, or whatever, tosses the mic. Couple shots of his fucking hot as shit wife. One thing that I did think was annoying is WWE, they try so hard to like mute the crowd or like amplify certain parts and like cover shit up. Why didn't you cover up this? There are some dorks, you can tell it's only like a couple group of people, like, like maybe like 5 or 6 people, like just, I don't know if they were together and if they got someone to join in or whatever, but they started chanting, "You screwed Bret," which, if you guys don't know the story, number one, Bret Hart is a fucking baby. He's always been a baby. Bret Hart has been way too emotional and always thought, like, he's one of those guys like, it's everyone else's fault. Like, everyone else fucked me over. I had nothing to do with it. I was a good guy and everyone just had a bad attitude towards me. Fuck off. So, Goldberg, I remember the match, and I think it was a kick. Goldberg kicked Bret in the head and like really fucked him, like knocked him out. And Bret was like, that was career ending. Like that was the end of my career. Bill Goldberg ruined my Hall of Fame career. Like he's just complaining to complain. And he's always been calling people out and being a fucking asshole. Like, he does this shit to Seth Rollins too. Like, anytime there, like, someone gets injured, hey, look, the fucking computer went down again. Jesus Christ. Anytime someone gets injured, Bret fucking Hart pops up, bitching up a storm. Which I understand. Like, if someone gets injured here, I mean, his fucking brother died in the ring. Like, I can understand that. But that wasn't like a wrestling botch, you know. That was mechanical. Like, the fucking, the pulley system, the strap, whatever, you know, whatever broke. I think it was a strap on the vest or something. And, I mean, the dude fucking, you know, fell from the fucking rafters. You know, and smashed his head off the turnbuckle or some shit like that and broke his neck and doing CPR on him in the ring. It was fucking crazy. But yeah, I mean, like, calm down, dude. Like, you're not the fucking advocate for in-ring safety. Like, you've complained forever, and that's why a lot of people don't like him. It's like, this guy, I remember this guy from when I was a kid. This dude's been complaining since, like, you know, I first saw him, and like my first memories of him, like really being like a big star, were more in WCW because he was like, you know, I was more of a Shawn Michaels fan, but I mean, I remember him at WrestleMania, you know, 11 and 12 and shit like that, and so on and so forth. But he was a bigger star to me in WCW because he jumped ship, and then obviously before that, Michaels sent him fucking packing because he's a coward who tapped to his own move in his home country. But anyway, enough with Bret Hart. But yeah, people were chanting, you screwed Bret, which fucking mute that shit. Like, it's an overhead mic. Like, Goldberg wasn't even talking. So use filler audio. I know you fucking have it. So I thought that was kind of shitty to let that through. Because you can tell that he heard it too. So, I mean, it's like, dude, get that shit out of here. So, anyway, the first match was New Day versus Sheamus and Cesaro for a title match. They get a rematch. Or not necessarily a rematch, because, I mean, you know, but they get a match based on how well they were performing, shit like that. New Day, I can't stand them. They're so annoying. So yeah, these are only like cliff notes. So let's see. Cesaro had a beautiful power slam, almost on par with Orton's, but I don't think anyone's going to touch Orton on that one. Kofi had a really good crossbody in this match. Cesaro catches him perfectly. Such a good worker. Like, that's what a lot of people need. Like, these guys like AJ Styles and Cesaro and Rollins, and Owens isn't too bad at it. Jericho's a fucking master. Like, these guys are so good at protecting others and, you know, making sure the work goes smoothly. Cesaro's one of the best. One thing I did notice, though, is, like, Xavier, like, okay, I should know this, hosting a fucking wrestling podcast, but who are the fucking champions in New Day? Because Xavier Woods comes out wearing the belt, but Big E's in the match. Like, I never see the belt on Big E, so what the fuck is going on? Like, you can't switch, you know, who are the actual fucking champs in there? Because I always thought it was Big E and Kofi, which are the guys that are in the match, but Xavier, he's always wearing the belt, so what the fuck is going on? Is this like a Kevin Owens Jericho thing where Jericho says, we are the champion, you know, and like Kofi's just in on it, or not Kofi, but Xavier's in on it too? Like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, that's confusing. Like, I watch the show every fucking week, and I don't even fucking know. So how do you think a little kid feels? Fucking goddamn it. So anyway, Xavier distracts the ref while, so Cesaro gets Kofi in the sharpshooter, which mentioned that earlier. Oh, look, restart required. You fuck off, dude. This computer's on every day, and like all these god damn it. Jesus, dude, fuck off. It's so stupid. Anyway, yeah, Cesaro gets Kofi in the sharpshooter. Xavier's like on the apron, like freaking out, distracting the ref, and Kofi's tapping, and Kofi gets a roll up, and he gets the pin, and the winner is New Day. Now, I am tired of the fucking roll up. Like, it's turned into the suicide dive, where like the suicide dive's kind of calmed down, but if you remember, like a couple weeks ago, I think there was one in almost every single match on Raw. It was fucking retarded. But I haven't seen many lately. Oh, look, hey, look, another text message. I'm fucking in the middle of something. God damn it. Jesus Christ. I can't stand today. I cannot stand it. I'm gonna fucking... Oh, man. What a fucking murder. Calvin is lucky that he is not here for this. I wouldn't do anything to him. He's my scarf buddy. So, anyway, the roll-up is just annoying the shit out of me. dude, it's been happening constantly. Like, I don't understand where, like, everyone's getting wins off of it. Like, the girls are getting wins. Everyone. Fucking everyone. So, not too sure what's going on here. Like, why? I mean, is it just like the trend in the back? Like, that's what everyone's doing now. Like, hey, let's all do roll-ups. Let's all do suicide dives. I don't fucking know. It's annoying. Then it cuts backstage to Enzo being quote-unquote nude outside of the locker room, like, yelling at Cass to let him in. I mean, this is the other thing I hate. Like, they don't take any, like, it seems like they don't take any steps to make things, like, really sell anymore in terms of, like, creative writing. So he's supposed to be naked, so you pixelate the bottom, right? So if it were me, like, what do you do? It's like, okay, well, get him a pair of nude-colored tights, trunks, whatever you want to call them, put those on, and then we'll just pixelate that. He's wearing black and yellow trunks. Like, you could, like, the most, I mean, yellow, I guess, but not when it's fucking, like, bright yellow. Not when it's, like, radiation, warning yellow level colored. You know what I mean? Like, you can tell and it's just all in it looks so fucking bad. Anyway, so they kind of, he's kind of walking around and he bumps into Lana, and Jesus Christ, Lana looks so fucking good. It was retarded. So Rusev comes out screaming. He's like, "What are you doing to my wife?" I'm not going to scream. I can't right now, but I could do a pretty good Rusev, I think. I'd have to get on it. So they kind of build a match off of that, saying that, he can't be doing that to his wife, blah, 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 blah. And then, so that match is going to happen here in a little bit. So then they do some cruiserweights, which I understand why this segment went. It takes a long time for them to set up that ring, and they did 2 cruiserweight matches, so that means they had to jump in there, change the canvas, change the ring apron, not change the ropes, but put the duct tape all over the ropes, tear it all down, have a couple matches, do all that shit again. Like, they got to figure something else out for that shit. It takes forever. I've seen it personally. It took a long fucking time. Even with a crew of, like, fucking 30 people doing it, it took forever. Anyway, it was, you guys know I don't give a shit about the cruiserweights, so it's Cedric Alexander and Navari or something, and Cedric hit some lumbar check. I don't know what the fuck it is. Anyway, wherever the fuck Cedric is, he won, and I don't give a shit. So the next part is probably the best part of the night. Jericho comes out, and early on the night he said he's going to address whose fault it is for the list of Jericho being destroyed, and you could tell he's very pissed, and of course they're setting it up for him to call out Owens. So Jericho's out there, and he just barely gets started, and Owens' music hits. And I know what they're doing. They're kind of like being like, Jericho is going to go off, but then they're having Owens interject and being like, yeah, man, maybe think of it this way instead, so that, Owens is still keeping his title safe from Jericho, so he doesn't have to deal with Jericho also. Owens says, he knows whose fault it is, and Jericho's like, yeah, I'm trying to tell them that, getting all snippy. And Owens like, do you mind if I use the Jeritron 5000 to demonstrate my point? And Jericho just staring daggers into him. He's like, it's the what is it? It's like, it's the Jeritron 6500. You know that. And Owens is like, are you sure? Well, when did you upgrade? And Jericho's like, see, this is what I'm talking about. You were right there when I upgraded. Like, you saw it. and Owens so Owens is like, all right, whatever. I'll use the 6500. And so he pulls up a picture of Jericho about to get the Styles Clash. And people start booing, because it's Jericho getting his ass whooped, and Owens like, I know, I was booing too. Their mic work is just incredible. Owens then switches a picture of him hitting AJ with the list, and he's like, you see what's going on here? I'm saving you right now. I'm saving you from the elimination. I sacrificed myself. Roman Reigns was standing right next to me. He didn't even flinch when you were getting beat up. He's like, I did this for you because you're my best friend. And Jericho's like, are you? If you're my best friend, then you would know how much the list means to me. And he's like, did you see the papers everywhere? And Owens interrupts him. He's like, are you serious? Like, who cares about the list? And the crowd boos so hard at that it's almost like you would think Roman Reigns came out with how hard they were booing, Jericho says, he's like, well, I care. That list means everything. Owens starts screaming that he sacrificed himself for Jericho because he's his best friend. And then he starts screaming because they took the picture down. It's like, where's that picture? Got monkeys in the truck. Put the picture back up. And like just starts screaming. Like, I love how they get over emotional and they're just so loud, and like their improv is amazing. Like I can't stress it enough. Like they're so good. Everyone's really been killing it in ring on the mic lately. You know, you got Ambrose. Ambrose is definitely one of the top ones, but god damn it, I just can't say how enough. Like I can't just his in ring work, dude. It's so bad. So yeah, Jericho says he's done with the conversation, and he's done with Owens, and he's going to say whose fault it is right now. And Owens is like, "Go ahead, say it," and they're both they're like in each other's face, like telling the other person to do it. Like, "Why don't you say it?" You know. And then at the same time, they're both Roman Reigns, and then they start hugging, and that was a pretty good payoff. I mean, you knew they weren't going to break up right there, but also one thing that I want to mention here is I follow a couple of stupid wrestling pages, not like Stupid Idiots Wrestling, but like these like meme pages or like wrestling news and stuff like that. And speaking of memes, they all try to do this. They all take a picture from the event or whatever, and they say caption this, and they have all these people comment and caption it, and then they take the caption, don't give the person the credit, and they write it on the picture, and they put like, you know, at whatever our name is over it, like, ooh, we came up with it. And then they post it like a week later, and it's like, look how funny we are. It's like, you guys are fucking hacks. And there was one, you know, there are these memes that come out where it's like some picture of like a boy and a girl. You know, like the boy's like holding her around the waist or whatever. And like, so they did that. They put, it's like when boys hold you around the waist. And then like the bottom picture is Jericho and Owens, where Jericho had his hands on Owens' face, and then Owens had his hands where they should have been on his hips, but they were like on his arms. And I called them out on it. I was like, yeah, except for no one's hands are on anyone's hips in this picture, you fucking retards. And they deleted the picture. This is a page with like 600,000 people that follow it. And like I said, they rip off everyone's content. And so, I mean, it was kind of funny that I got that deleted. Fucking dorks. I fucking hate them. I hate those fucking pages. Where was I at? Oh, yeah, they both say Roman Reigns. Owens is going off on about how Reigns didn't even help. And then he's like, also, and he had a bunch of good lines about his hair and stuff. And then he's like, also to blame, Rollins. And the second he says Rollins comes out saying he wants his title shot tonight. The crowd starts chanting yes, and Owens is like, hey, listen, the guy that used to do that, no longer relevant, so you guys can stop. Everyone started booing. But, I mean, it's you know, he's not wrong. They end up saying that they don't believe him, that he's not entitled to his rematch, and that they'll go ask Steph themselves. And Rollins says he doesn't care, and he'll take out both of them right now. And he attacks Jericho, and, of course, they end up teaming up on him. And, again, everything's going fine. Reigns' music hits, and the boos just flood the building. Like, so even when he comes to help, he still gets booed. Roman sucks chant starts. Everyone boos when he hits the Superman punch. And then Mick comes out and says he'll get a shot tonight in a no disqualification match, and Jericho and Reigns are banned from ringside. So we have that to look forward to later. And then Enzo and Rusev from earlier, that match happens now. Rusev taps Enzo immediately. Like, I can see how this is a squash match, but I mean, they're like, what are you doing with Enzo and Cass? I mean, there's nothing to fucking. It's just weird. Like, they're losing constantly. You got to do something, man. Like, these guys are so over, even when they're losing. Like, you got to give them some sort of run, because you guys are just, they're not doing anything with them. Next was Golden Truth versus the Club. Didn't fucking watch it because I don't care. Apparently, the Club won. Zayn versus Braun. This match came about earlier when Mick was saying there needed to be repercussions for Zayn not bringing the Intercontinental title back to Raw, which, like I said, it was weird that that match didn't even happen at Survivor Series. So, yeah. So anyway, so Zayn is going to have a match with Braun for not getting the title, and so they come out, and of course it's just Braun beating the shit out of Zayn. And the crowd starts chanting, please don't kill him. And then Foley ends up coming out maybe like 10 minutes into the match. He's like, all right, stop the match. He can't defend himself. So Braun wins by general manager stoppage. Like I said, I'm trying to burn through this shit. Charlotte comes out with Dana. And the thing about Dana is, I guess Dana, we said a couple weeks back that apparently her push is from her fucking someone in creative, which is interesting because now she's dating Dolph Ziggler and her push has kind of stopped. I guess the original intention was her to be the female Roman Reigns. And I guess that's not happening now, so she's kind of gone back to just kind of hanging out in the back. So hopefully I don't want to say hopefully we see less of her because she is fucking gorgeous, but she's like diva level wrestling, like she's kind of there with like Nikki and Natalya and shit like that. Like she's not good. So hopefully she kind of hangs back a little bit. I don't know, man. Maybe send her back to NXT. Like I was saying, like these guys, they get called up so early and it's like they become a star and then immediately it's like, all right, main roster, get up there. It's like the same thing with Baron Corbin. Like he was, like I was saying, he was big in NXT and now he fucking sucks on the main roster. And Enzo and Cass, I mean, even though they're big, they were huge in NXT and now they're not doing shit. Like when they first popped up, they were kind of starting to do something and then they just, no, stay down here and fucking in like lower mid card, like Shining Stars level, so kind of interested to see what they do with Dana. But I mean, you send these guys, I mean, they sent Emma back, send them back, let them get some more time, or at least fucking keep them there for a couple years. Let them become stars, like legitimate stars in NXT, and then bring them up, So anyway, Charlotte's out in the ring saying she's the best, which is true, and of course Sasha has to come out and interrupt. I actually completely agree with Sasha's interview that I mentioned, I think, last week, where she was saying that they need more women because she fights 6 people, like, total for her entire WWE career. It's been, like, 6 people. You got to get someone else in there. So, like, I mean, it's not that I'm tired of seeing them. They do put on good matches, but it's like, at least it's, not the same match every time. Like, I can't complain about that. Ambrose has, like, 1,000 people to fight, and he has the same fucking match with everybody. So Sasha, of course, doing the same thing. She wants a rematch from Hell in a Cell right now. Let's see. Charlotte says, no rematch tonight. And then everyone starts booing. And she's like, the boos aren't going to help the queen change her mind. And then Nia comes out. Nia says she's not here for Charlotte, but she's here for Sasha. Nia calls her overrated and says she's not the boss when she's standing next to her, and she can't handle her. So now it seems like they're going to have Nia and Sasha beef, which is going to be stupid because girls that are bigger than Sasha have fallen to Nia, but now it's going to be like a Mighty Mouse thing where Sasha just doesn't give up, and it's going to be Brock Lesnar and whoever, like fucking Dink the Clown, and that guy would go over. That's how it's going to be. It's going to be fucking retarded. So Bayley comes out. Oh no, I skipped ahead a little bit. So they start going at it. Nia ends up like holding Sasha so Charlotte can chop her, and then Bayley comes out to try to fucking stop all the shit, and then Nia keeps her out, and then that turns into a tag match, which is Charlotte, Nia versus Sasha and Bayley. Nia is just crushing Bayley the whole time. Byron Saxton on commentary says, could you imagine missing curfew and having to come home and deal with Nia? And then Graves is like, Byron, you're an adult male. Why do you have a curfew? And so anyway, Sasha and Bayley, they get a double suplex on Nia, which is cool. And then Sasha gets Charlotte in the bang statement and Charlotte taps. And I'm so over it because I said it a couple weeks ago, like it just makes your if you're constantly, Charlotte does great at pay-per-views, but in between pay-per-views, she's just getting her ass whipped by Charlotte. Like, it makes your champion look weak. If you're only having her win pay-per-views, like, what's the point? Like, be dominant in some form, like, at least show that, like, okay, look, I can hold the title because I'm kind of fending you guys off a little bit, but it's like, oh, I get my ass whooped constantly, and then at the pay-per-view, I'll make up for it. Like, it's so fucking dumb. So anyway, Sasha and Bayley win. Let's see. And then it was another cruiserweight thing. It's like Noam Dar versus the fucking dancing guy versus TJ for a title shot. And then my only notes, because again I skipped these, I fucking can't stand them. I wrote gay dancing guy wins. So the black guy that dances all the time that looks like a fucking crackhead. And then finally the main event for SmackDown SmackDown for Raw, which is actually a really good match. the first note I have, which, oh, look who can predict the future. I swear if my DVR cuts off, I'm going to be pissed. What do you think it did? And I found out because I had to go back and look it up on YouTube. I missed, it cut off 20 minutes of this match. So that means Raw this week was 3 hours and 20 minutes. Give me a fucking... Dude, come on. How about you stay in your time slot? I don't know when this happened where they started rolling over. They go over all the time. When did this start? Because I remember when I was a kid and I was watching, during the Attitude Era, it ended at 9 or 8 or whenever the fuck. I think it was 8. I think it was 6 to 8 because the first one, yeah, because it was they kind of split it up into 2 hours, whereas almost 2 different shows. But they rounded off right at 8. They faded out. If it was 8 o'clock and shit was happening, if the match was going, too bad, dude. You're off air. But I mean, you can ride it for SmackDown where SmackDown ends right on time, and it's a live show as well. So I mean, if that can end right on time, why can't Raw? So you got to stop this shit, dude. Stay in your time slot and fucking write it better. Because even every time I watch SmackDown, Raw has so much shit. But every time I watch SmackDown, it's I'll check it. I'll go to a commercial, I'll get ready to fast forward. I'm like, God damn, it's already been an hour. Holy shit. I never feel overwhelmed, but I don't feel underwhelmed at the same time. It's always a really nice mix of everything. What they're doing at SmackDown is perfect, and I would really, really like to see it for Raw. I think it would contain stuff a lot better. And then, I mean, if you want to do a 4-hour pay-per-view, I probably wouldn't have as much of a problem with it if they did it like this. 2 hours, and then once a month a big 4-hour pay-per-view. I might be able to get behind that. Either way, so main event time on Raw. Yeah, in the first 10 minutes, there were 3 commercial breaks, too. That also pissed me off. So anyway, during the commercial, and this is kind of, it was just kind of small back and forth, just kind of building up. But, why wouldn't you have the big spots during the commercial? So when it comes back, it's this is what happened during the commercial break, folks. There's fucking tables and chairs and shit out. It's what the fuck happened? So, I guess he hit a fucking giant Rollins hit a neck breaker off the top rope, which looked awesome. And then Owens slammed Rollins through a fucking table all during the commercial break. That's fucking stupid. That's so stupid. So, let's see. So Owens tries to powerbomb Rollins through some chairs. Rollins reversed it, and he put Owens through it with a back body drop, which is awesome. Rollins set up the table in the corner, kind of propped it up, and after a few back and forths, they ended up on the top rope, and Rollins grabbed Owen and essentially did his buckle bomb, but like through the table. So it's cool that, you know, he got to do that. But I mean, I'm really tired of like, you know, moves getting banned and shit. Kind of going back to the Bret Hart thing. Like, and I got in an argument with a guy about this too. You know, he was like, something popped up like a couple days ago. I think it was Sting's like 2-year anniversary since he debuted, and there was some guy like, yeah, and then Seth Rollins fucked him up and ruined his career. He's a fucking legend, and this new kid Seth Rollins comes in and fucks it. It's like, look, again, Sting and Finn have both said that it was their fault that it happened. Okay, Sting said he didn't protect his neck. Balor I don't remember Balor's interview as well, but it was something like he forgot to like control his arm or something like that, and that's what caused the shoulder to snap over the barricade. They both have said they don't hold any blame against Rollins at all, and that it's their fault. Dude, the curb stomp was awesome. And he didn't even hurt anyone with that. And Orton, speaking of, was amazing at selling the curb stomp. So it sucks that they took that away from him, because Orton was great at selling. It was beautiful, and it was unique. It goes back to what I was saying earlier about finishers. It was unique. You know, it wasn't like a standard move set thing. You know, it wasn't someone, you know, like Bayley's, for example. Like hers is a belly to belly suplex, which isn't like, you don't finish people with that. So, but either way, the curb stomp was great. The buckle bomb was great. You know, and he lost the curb stomp just because they didn't want kids trying it at home, because, you know, regardless of them saying that, kids are still going to do it. So they took the curb stomp away, which I can kind of understand, because if you got a kid on the ground, you know, on pavement or something, not on like a trampoline, you're probably going to fuck him up. But either way, you know, and then they took the buckle bomb away from him because of Sting and Finn Balor, which is bullshit. But either way, he gets that, and it's through a table, so that was cool. And then they start, let's see. Yeah, they start kind of going out in the crowd, and there's where my DVR cut off. So I had to go online and find it. So the fights in the audience, they're kind of going, you know, just kind of punching each other, and then they go back to that tunnel where, like, you know, the basketball players or whoever will come out, and they get right there, and Owens goes for a power bomb, and Rollins grabs the rail up top, and he kicks Owens, and he climbs up on top of where the players come out. So he's on top of the tunnel, so he's at pretty much the highest point he can get in that area, and he jumps off onto Owens. Owens did an okay job of catching him. It was a pretty good jump, though. It was pretty fucking high up there. So it's cool that they let them do that. Of course, not on my fucking DVR, though. They move back into the ring, and Rollins gets ready to jump off the barricade, and someone in a Sin Cara mask pushes him off and starts attacking him. Now, already it's Chris Jericho. Like, Chris Jericho, because, I mean, it's kind of a callback to him getting in a fight with Sin Cara, backstage. But Michael Cole, like, here's the one thing I know Michael Cole is like a shit commentator, but here's one thing I completely disagree with what he did. He's like, oh my God, there's a fan attacking Rollins. Someone gets security over here. Like, don't ever advertise that at all. Don't ever advertise a fan interacting. Don't ever put that in the story, because that shit has happened, I mean, usually, I don't think there's ever been like a major incident where like a fan has caused major harm, but there have been people that have jumped out into the ring before. There have been, that one guy popped up during the Shield Wyatt family interaction. Some guy randomly jumped up and was just standing right next to Dean Ambrose for like 3 or 4 seconds before anyone. But here's my problem with it is, like, in that time frame, you can pop out a knife and jam it in Dean's neck and take off. I mean, you're gonna get caught, but he, like, just this guy, for example, he had more than enough time to really, really cause some damage. And the thing about this, like, the reason it's such a big deal is, like, it kind of goes back and forth. Like, when I went to Raw this past couple weeks ago, it's like a month or so now, but when I went there, I mean, security was fine, like, I wouldn't have gotten anything in, but, like, I've been to a lot of them where I have not been checked and I have not gone through metal detectors, and that's just, I'm telling you the truth. Even when we went to WrestleMania, I don't remember going through any metal detectors at all. I could be wrong, but I don't remember, because I remember even telling Calvin that, and I was just like my thought the whole time was, I was like, dude, I could have brought a pistol in, and I could have just started shooting. Like, if I would have had a fully automatic gun, I could have just pulled, like, if I had like an Uzi or something, I could have just turned and just like spun in a circle and shot tons of people. And that's what proves it, is because when we were in the hotel room, Calvin was wanting to bring his camera, and it had been a long time since I'd been to an event, and I forgot that they just completely allow cameras. And I was telling Calvin, I was like, man, I don't know if they're going to let you in with that camera. And I was like, and we don't have a vehicle to take it back to. And I felt really bad that Calvin didn't get to take his camera and take a bunch of pictures. Like, I do feel bad about that. But yeah, when we got there, they didn't even, I had so much shit. I had a pocket knife, like, I didn't have one person fuck with me at all, but, like, anyway, back to this. You can't ever say anything about a fan getting involved, because that could kind of, like, you know what I mean? Like, they could be like, ooh, I could be part of the show, and they could think that it's a wrestler or something. Because the commentators aren't always up to what's going on. Like, sometimes they keep them in the dark. And I don't know how often they do that, but, I mean, you just don't want to give someone the wrong idea. So, knock that shit off immediately, Michael Cole, you fucking retard. God damn it, I hate Michael Cole anyway. So, anyway, Chris Jericho's attacking Rollins. Rollins ends up pulling the mask off. You can tell it's Chris Jericho. Chris ends up trying to jump off the barricade, but he gets kicked, and he gets pedigreed on the floor, which was awesome. And then Rollins turns around, and he gets hit with a super kick, and then Owens hits a pop-up powerbomb onto the apron, which, if you don't know, is essentially that right there. The way he did that is the same as a buckle bomb. It's the same thing. So why does Owens get to use it and Rollins can't? Like, fuck you. It's the same thing. So Owens rolls Rollins into the ring, gets a 3 count, boom, match is over. Really good match, actually. Since Calvin is not here, we don't have to argue. My favorite match was the last match, which, and I know it's getting kind of stale. My favorite wrestler was Rollins. I mean, ever since we started this, pretty much every week, my favorite wrestler has been Rollins or Jericho or, like, Charlotte. I mean, that again shows you need some more action. Because you got to fill 3 hours and 20 minutes, so you got to draw your matches out. You can't make them these quick, like, power move, like fucking crazy matches like SmackDown can. So I don't know. Anyway, Rollins is my favorite wrestler of the night. The worst match out of the ones that I watched was the New Day match, and then the worst wrestler out of the ones that I watched was Rusev. It's just, he's not really doing anything. It's kind of like Brock Lesnar. People complaining about that, but he's not doing much. So let's move on to SmackDown. SmackDown recaps, by the way, when they start and they kind of show what happened throughout the week, they're better than most of the entire show of Raw. Shane comes out, looking fine, not really, kind of like maybe he's got some bruises here and there. He starts going through, like, giving props to all the Raw guys, and of course, my favorite thing is always, the second he says Roman's name, Roman gets booed to shit. And then he says he's extremely happy with Bray and Orton, but he's not very happy with Styles and Amber. He's like, the two guys I thought that I have the most problems with I didn't, which is Bray and Orton, and the two guys I told not to have problems with each other did, and that's AJ and Ambrose. So Ambrose comes out. God, tonight he was so good in his persona. It was just incredible. But if any wrestling was shit, as I've said like 4 times tonight. So Ambrose comes out, and I also noticed his hairline is fucking like Baron Corbin-esque at this point. He's starting to look like an emo kid. Like, shave it or something, man. Like, it's looking really bad. He brings out Ellsworth. Ellsworth slowly comes out in a neck brace. JBL, line of the night, JBL says, how is that walking anorexic manatee even still around after what Braun had done to him? And me personally, I'm wondering how the neck brace didn't slide up and cover his eyes to where he couldn't see anything, because, there's not a fucking chin to hold the fucking thing down. So, Ambrose is like, hey, so we got a surprise, tell him the surprise, and, and he keeps, like, elbowing Shane, like, kind of right in Shane's room. Shane's like, all right, calm, stop, and Shane's like, well, we're going to talk about it backstage, like, we'll figure it out, and Ambrose is like, come on, tell him, like, just acting like a kid, and it's really good. And then finally Shane's like, well, and then Ambrose is like, you're getting a SmackDown contract, just totally blows Shane's thing out of the water. And Shane's like, look, you're out of control. Look, you're gonna get the night off, okay? And he's like, you got to leave the building. You got to get out of here. Like, seriously, you got to go. And Ambrose is like, oh, okay, I'll just go get something to eat. And so AJ comes out, and he's complaining about Ellsworth getting a contract. He's like, he doesn't deserve it. He hasn't done anything. He's a charity case. Says if he wants it, he should earn it. He should face him tonight. He needs a tune-up match for tables, ladders, and chairs. So why doesn't he have a tune-up match with Ellsworth tonight? Make it a ladder match. Ellsworth says he's fine with it since he's beaten AJ twice, which was hilarious. He says if he wins, he also wants a shot at the belt, because if he's going to go for it all, he wants it all and not, he wants to go for everything. So that's kind of funny. So anyway, it switches to Shane escorting Ambrose out of the building. Seriously, all of his commentary is just hilarious. So he's like, all right, you got to go. He's like, okay, well, you want me to come, you want me to bring you something? And he's like, no, get out. So gets Ambrose out of there. It's weird because there's, I would imagine there right now would be a segment with something about the Intercontinental title, but I guess I just missed it, or maybe they just didn't have anything. So that's very interesting. I would imagine it might be Kalisto versus someone else for the not necessarily the title, but someone should be a fighting champion, and maybe Baron Corbin comes in and interrupts it, but who knows? I guess that just didn't happen. So anyway, it goes backstage with the girls, and Alexa's talking to Brian about getting her rematch, and Becky says that she can get her rematch at TLC, and then of course Natalya comes in blowing her fucking whistle and talking about her stupid cat. Like, I've seen her cat. It's one of those big fluffy ones that like their eyes are all retarded and going like completely opposite directions, and she named her cat Two Paws. Like, she's such, I don't know if I could handle her in real life. She seems like a really, like, let's buy Live, Laugh, Love plaques and put it over the fireplace and check out my 31 cats that you told me not to bring home, and then I just did it anyway, and you're going to have to deal with it because I'm a woman. That's just, yeah. She looks good on TV, but I don't think I could stand her. Anyway, they keep blaming each other for, like, what happened, and then Shane says, no, you're all to blame. And then he's like, Natalya, you're getting a match with Becky tonight. And then Natalya says some gay shit about how she's like, all right, well, you can do whatever, but this heart will go on. And then Becky's like, what was that from? And then she's like, is that from Titanic? And then, oh God, what was it? Whereas Ambrose pops up, or no, Becky was like, yeah, what is that from? And Ambrose is like, it's Titanic. Comes in with a box of pizza from off screen, and Shane's like, oh, what are you doing? You need to leave. And he says it like 29 times. And then Becky's just kind of standing there watching. She's like, all right, well, I'm going to go and I'm going to take a pizza Natalie's arm. And Shane's like, yeah, I got it. You need to go. And she's like, fucking kind of walks off. And of course, Ambrose from off camera is like, heard it, loved it. So Ambrose just being like the annoying child, just poking and prodding Shane. Fucking, he's really good. God damn it. It makes me so mad that he's not this good in the ring, because he's so good on the mic. Son of a bitch. Anyway, it switches back to Corbin being a shit actor. Brian's saying that his actions have consequences, and he's putting him in a match with Kane tonight. Gee, I wonder what he did earlier to make Brian mad. I mean, there might have been a match he interfered with, but I just don't know. I mean, I don't know anything about that. It's almost like whoever has the Intercontinental belt is a piece of shit and doesn't need to be mentioned on here, especially with Calvin gone. Who knows, though? That's just speculation. So now there's a tag elimination match. So the way this works is 2 tag teams are starting, and the second one is eliminated, another one comes out. So who does it start off with? It starts off with the Hype Bros and the Ascension, and this is kind of funny. The dudes in the Ascension are getting kind of fat, so that's kind of funny. I don't know if it's just because they're not doing anything or what, but yeah, they're both noticeably bigger. And they're fucking face paint as shit, by the way. The Ascension goes for a double suplex. Ryder turns that into a double neck breaker. They hit the Hype Rider and eliminate the Ascension. And then Breezango comes out. And by the way, speaking of Breezango, Tyler Breeze has been getting a lot of praise lately from other wrestlers, of them saying that he's a really good in-ring worker. And I think it was Ziggler, too, that was saying that he fucking outworks him, and that Breeze really, really needs a push. So hopefully that happens, because I do know the guy's great, but it's hard to see. They've been in squash matches, like they've been getting their ass whipped all over the place for like the past, I don't know, 3 or 4 months. It'd be nice to see them really, really start working it out in the ring and, being out there more. So I don't know. Either way, it would be nice though to see them on Raw and have them go with Enzo and Cass, because if you're not doing anything with either of them, at least those two with the promos alone would be incredible. So, I don't know, maybe something to think about. Breezango eliminates the Hype Bros, and then American Alpha come out. American Alpha eliminate Breezango, and then Vaudevillains come out, and they get eliminated, like, immediately. The Usos come out, and, of course, they're going to have the Usos versus American Alpha. Fucking why wouldn't they? The Usos are just as stale as everyone else. And then, of course, the commentators are like, the Usos are taking their time coming to the ring because they're smart. They're thinking about it. They're not going to let the emotions get the best of them. And in my mind, it's like, okay, well, it's not smart to take a long time because you're just letting your opponents rest. So you may be fresh and taking your time and not getting amped up, but they're able to, like, regroup and get ready. So I think that was kind of a dumb thing on the commentators' side. Let's see. So, American Alpha, they pin the Usos, and then they cut to the Wyatts. American Alpha just beat the shit out of them, but then it cuts to Wyatts. And Randy, he looks so fucking out of place when he's just standing next to him, because it's like Bray with a giant beard, and it's like Luke with a giant beard, and then it's Randy, who's like this clean-cut, good-looking kid with his hoodie up, and he's like, oh, God, they said something, and then I don't remember what the setup line was, but Randy's like, yeah, we're a family. And it's like, what are you talking about? You're a he sounds so fucking retarded. So they say that they're going to have a match next week, and that they're coming for an American Alpha and that they need to run, which Bray is not really intimidating anymore. He used to be. If they would have gone with what he looks like now, back when he debuted, and because he has a really good, like, deep guttural voice when he says run, it's not a threat anymore. Like, no one gives it. He's not fucking freaking anyone out. So, goes backstage again. Ellsworth is backstage talking down to Bryan, saying he's thankful for everything he's gotten, and he hopes he can win. Then, of course, Ambrose pops up in a mounting uniform, And Daniel Bryan asks what the hell he's doing. If Shane sees you, he's going to lose his mind. And like almost a second after he says that, Shane shows up and does. He fucking blows a gasket, saying he's disrespectful and just screaming. And Ambrose is like, all right, I'll leave. There's no need to yell. Do you need anything? Do you want to know why I dressed up as a Mountie? And Shane blows up. He's like, no, leave. And then Shane's like, I got to get out of here. I'm going to do something I'm going to regret. So then as soon as he leaves, Brian's like, well, I'm curious as to why you're dressed up as a Mountie. And then they both are kind of like smirking at each other, and you can tell they're trying not to crack up. And Ambrose is like, because the Mountie always gets his man, and he walks off. And which I wish they would have explained that more. Like, I knew what it was. The Mountie was a really old school WWF wrestler, and he was one of those like gimmick guys, kind of like fucking goddamn it. Of course, when I say one of those guys, I can't even think. Like Mosh and Thrasher, and then they had goddamn it, who are those like retarded dudes that bounced around? I can't remember, but yeah, he had a gimmick. Like he was like the whatever, like IRS. He was like an attorney or a tax guy. Shit like that. They had all these guys like the $1 Million Man. These were all like the guys were the gimmick. And the Mountie was one of those guys. And this is back in the day. This is like early '90s. And but yeah, it was a callback to the Mountie there in Canada. It was kind of funny, dressed up exactly like him. But a lot of new guys aren't going to get that. And I didn't get it at first until he said that line. Until he said, "I always get my man," because that was like the Mountie's catchphrase. So I wish they would have kind of explained that more, especially for like the younger guys, because at the end I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So then Becky versus Natalya came on after this. Bliss is out there on commentary. A couple good spots in the match. Natalya had some really good slams, actually. Becky got the disarmer, and she tapped Natalya, and then Bliss runs in and attacks Becky. Becky's the winner, but, got her ass whipped by Bliss. And then Nikki cuts to Nikki backstage trying to find out who attacked her, and she's confronting Carmella, saying you're the one that attacked. The only reason I bring this up is because Nikki is in this black shirt, and she's not wearing a bra, and her tits look fucking incredible in this fucking thing. Like, I hate to always be like, oh, these girls are so hot, especially with all that they do, but Nikki, kind of not on that list because she's a shit wrestler, but goddamn, her body is fucking fantastic. But yeah, if you get a chance, go and check her out in that black shirt. It's very nice, very nice. So Kane versus Corbin. Like the second they start, Kalisto runs in and attacks Corbin, and then so Corbin wins by DQ. Like, match isn't going to get started. I think Kane chokeslammed Corbin after all that shit happened, and he did his fire thing and walked out. But weird, it's almost like Corbin would have done that to someone else earlier in the night, but I don't know who that was. Calvin's going to be so mad at me. Okay, then finally the main event, Styles versus Ellsworth. Calvin is probably also upset at this because he fucking hates... I mean, I get it. I get why people don't like Ellsworth. It's kind of the same thing with me and New Day. Like, I understand why a lot of people like them, but I can't fucking stand them. I think they're a fucking joke. I think they're kind of bad for what they're doing right now. But I can see the same thing with Ellsworth. I can get why... I can see why he's a joke and why people hate him, and totally undeserving, but I think it's fun. The way a lot of other people probably think New Day is fun, but whatever. The whole match is AJ just toying with Ellsworth. Morrow starts talking about ladder matches, and he mentions like Shawn and Razor in ladder matches, and JBL loses his shit, and he's like, sacrilege! Fucking, he's like, if Razor even here, like, you shouldn't even mention Razor. He should do a run-in on you right now for even saying his name. Kind of talking about being associated with this ladder match that's going on, which I kind of agree with, because Shawn and Razor, like, when Calvin and I have talked about this, when you talk about a ladder match, it's Shawn and Razor. I don't give a shit about your big spots with Edge and Jeff Hardy or whatever, and all that. Good matches on their own, no doubt about it, but Shawn and Razor Ramon, that's the ladder match, end of story. I apologize if you guys hear my dog ruffling around in the back. She's rolling around on the bed being a dork. So let's see. Oh yeah, so anyway, AJ immediately just throws him out and tries to climb the ladder, but Ellsworth grabs his foot. AJ kicks him off and goes down and starts beating the shit out of him again. Does a fucking super hard backbreaker, and then he kind of puts him up in the ladder, and kind of locks his foot in the ladder and kicks him square in the fucking ribs. And it's not like he didn't slap his leg to make it sound like it was. He fucking kicked that motherfucker in the ribs. And I noted that too, like when I was at Raw, when those two were fighting, or not Raw, but when I was at SmackDown and those two were fighting, he was legitimately punching Ellsworth in the fucking head. Like when he had him over the ropes, I think he just did it till he got DQ'd. I'm not sure if that's the same one, but he punched the shit out of Ellsworth. Like I was fucking right there. It was right in front of me. He was beating the shit out of him. Like he was not holding back. And it was the same with this kick. Like he fucking laid into that dude's ribs. So then AJ puts the ladder on top of Ellsworth, and he starts climbing the ladder. And that's when Ambrose shows up, and for some reason now he's wearing a fucking hockey mask, hockey gloves, and a hockey jersey. And he attacks AJ and throws him out of the ring. And he's trying to get Ellsworth to climb up the ladder, but Ellsworth is just too out of it, getting his ass whooped. And then AJ comes back, jumps off the rope, and hits Ambrose with the phenomenal forearm. AJ goes up the ladder again, and Ellsworth dumps the ladder. And the thing about this is AJ completely sells this. You think he's so wild and out of control with the way he hit, and that this is totally planned. If you watch, you can tell he's totally in control. When they dumped the ladder, his legs hit the ropes, and he spun and then smacked the ground. But you can tell, if you watch when he's coming through the air off the ladder, he's looking as to where to hit with his legs, how he's going to spin so he can land on his back outside. That just shows that the dude's been at it for years and years. So that shows just how good he is in terms of like calculating within seconds. And it looked fucking brutal when he hit the fucking ropes. Like he spun around like crazy, but if you notice, landed directly on his back where he should have. So Ellsworth sets up the ladder. AJ starts coming in. Ellsworth super kicks him, and AJ gets his leg trapped in the ropes. And so AJ's like freaking out, and the ladder's like a foot away from him, and he just can't reach it, and his foot's trapped, can't get it. Ellsworth gets up, grabs the contract, lets go of the ladder, falls to the ground with the contract. He gets his fucking SmackDown contract, and he gets a shot at the title. So, pretty good SmackDown. I thought the last match, even though if you hate him, it was fun. You know, it was a good turnout. I'm kind of interested to see where they go with this Ellsworth thing. My favorite match was that one, the last match. My favorite wrestler was Becky. Worst match was the Corbin match that never happened. Or no, that Corbin match did happen. And then my worst wrestler was Corbin as well. So that's it for wrestling coverage. I don't know how fast that was. I haven't cut everything together yet. It's fucking 1 in the afternoon now. All that fucking noise made me stop forever. So we'll go into Free Zone, cover some news real quick, and we'll go through this. First thing was they asked Chris Jericho why he wore a Sin Cara mask, because there was a fight a couple weeks ago with him, like a legit fight that we talked about in Free Zone, I think last week, maybe the week before. Jericho said on his podcast that Sin Cara is a great guy who's a friend of his, and he revealed that Sin Cara actually lent him the mask. So it seems that they're on good terms again, so hopefully that shit it's kind of, I don't know, I don't like Sin Cara, I don't really care. So that's cool. Scott Hall kind of saying some shit I mentioned earlier, talking about keeping guys in NXT and really let them build up and be stars. So he's talking about what he wants to do with the company. His thoughts, it says right here, his thoughts on being part of NXT and who impresses him. He says, I think it's great you have guys like Balor and Nakamura in WWE. I was reaching out to Finn before when he was still in New Japan. I was in contact with him then as well. I'm really happy for him and all of his success, and I hope he has a speedy recovery. He's over like a rock star. He says Nakamura is another guy who didn't have to change at all. He's doing exactly what he did in New Japan, and which was over like crazy. Now he's in NXT and killing it. And this is where I agree with him. He says, the thing with NXT is now to try and keep the guys in NXT long enough to keep NXT alive. You can't keep flooding the main roster with these guys. I think it's a great time to be a young pro wrestler, and I'm happy to be involved with wrestling, and my goal is to end up in NXT. So I completely agree with that. I think I did mention that earlier. I think with Dana Brooke. Yeah, they need to keep guys longer. Like, NXT needs to have its own stars. Like, you can't fucking they're getting a lot of applause. Bring them up. You let them be there for a couple years. Build that roster, and then take 1, maybe 2 of your top performers. Not necessarily your top guy, but someone who would do really well on the main roster. So, agree with that. There's not a lot of news. I'm going to wrap this up fairly soon. CM Punk, he finally had an interview since his fight at UFC 200, I think it was, or was it 203? I think it was 203. He did say that, he is going to have another match. He doesn't care, fight. He doesn't care if it's in the WWE or God damn it, dude. Okay. CM Punk, not a wrestler anymore. I need to get that through my head. Says he is going to have another fight. Doesn't matter if it's in the UFC or not, but he will have another fight. Doesn't give a shit. This is what he does now. So, I mean, that's cool. I don't think he's going to be super successful at it. I think we will see him in the ring. He's getting kind of old. Maybe if it doesn't happen within the next 3 years, it's not going to happen. But I think we will see him again. But I don't want him to be too old. So hopefully it's within the next 3 years. But yeah, it says he's going to fight again, so that's interesting. We'll close that one. What was this? Oh yeah, that doesn't matter. Fuck that. So about Goldberg, I guess Brock is getting paid a shitload of money now. So Brock Lesnar was on board with the plan to have Goldberg squash him at Survivor Series in less than 2 minutes. The overall thinking was that because this is such a quick match, the audience hasn't really seen Goldberg 2016 versus Brock Lesnar, so now they can spend a few months building it up for WrestleMania. The idea is to have the two in the Royal Rumble in January to further tease and build towards what is presumed to be their final match at WrestleMania 33. It says, it's Goldberg, not Lesnar, for the shitload of money. Sorry about that. Goldberg reportedly negotiated a phenomenal single event deal with WWE for Survivor Series and is willing to do as many pay-per-views for the company as long as they keep paying him that price. So that's cool that he got paid for it. I know Brock makes a shitload of money. I don't know how I got that mixed up. That's pretty much it. It was kind of slow news, especially for all the shit that went on this weekend. Close out all this shit. Close out my fucking YouTube page of having to watch the Rollins and Owens match. But that's about it, guys. I hope it was somewhat entertaining. I know it was mostly just coverage. I don't have someone here to bounce shit off of me, but I hope Calvin is having a good time down in Brownland, and maybe he'll stop by Juarez and get me some of those some more Jarritos and not pork rinds. I fucking hate pork rinds, turns out. But anyway, kind of short. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I know sometimes I go kind of long on my coverage, but I love doing this podcast. So next week, my scarf buddy and best friend will be back, and we'll be covering everything as usual. And thanks for listening. And I don't know. We'll see you next week.
Whoa. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I didn't call you idiots. I called you stupid idiots.